Hello children, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing another very important poem of class 10 CBSE, and that is the Ball poem written by John Berryman. It's a very beautiful poem written in a very different way. This poem has a literary meaning, and at the same time this poem has a metaphorical meaning also. This poem talks about the responsibility of a human being. This poem talks about how to take care of our possessions. It also talks about the transitory life of we all human beings. To get a better idea of this whole poem, let's explore this wonderful poem.
Hello children, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be doing another very beautiful poem from the book First Flight, Class 10 CBSE, and the poem is the Ball poem written by John Berryman. So before we discuss this poem in detail, let's discuss about the poet. John Berryman was born on October 25, 1914. He was an American poet and scholar born in McAlester, Oklahoma. He was a major figure in American poetry in the second half of the 20th century and is considered a key figure in the confessional school of poetry. His best known work is The Dream Songs. He died on 7 January 1972. So John Berryman, he was born on 25th October 1914. He was an American poet, he was a scholar too, and he was born in McAlester, Oklahoma. And during this 20th century, second half of the 20th century, he was a major figure in American poetry, and is also considered a key figure in the confessional school of poetry. Confessional school of poetry means there was an era, there was a time when most of the poets, they were focusing on extreme moments of individual experience, or you can call it personal trauma. And even if we talk about John Berryman, most of his poems deal with the theme or deal with extreme trauma, individual experience, mental illness, or taboo related matters. And his best known work is The Dream Songs, and he died on 7 January 1972. Now let's start the poem. A boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor is it difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost, and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. So in this poem we see a boy who loses a ball, and the boy is very upset because that ball is not with him anymore. But the big question is, you can get another ball. It is not a big deal. You can buy another ball because a ball doesn't cost much. But why? There is a reason behind his sadness. Why then he is so upset? So that's what we have to explore in this poem. So let's start this poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? Now the poet is saying that what is the boy now who has lost his ball? He is saying that अब उस बच्चे की क्या स्थिति है? What is his condition? Who has lost his ball? Now that ball is not with him. He has lost that ball. And now what he has to do, and what are the other options for that boy? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in water. Now the poet is saying that he has seen the ball going down the street, bouncing down the street, and then slowly getting in the water. He is saying that I have seen that ball slowly moving down the street and finally getting in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. Now the poet is saying that there is no use of saying that, okay, no need to worry, don't get upset, don't become sad. We can get other balls from the market. We will buy another ball for you, so there is no need to be upset. So he's saying there is no use of saying all these things. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Now when this ball is lost, the boy has become very, very sad. And he has become sad to that extent that where he has become stiff. Rigid means stiff. He is trembling and he is continuously looking down, and he is literally seeing his young days, his jolly days have come to an end, because now that ball is not with him. He has lost that ball. Now he can't do anything. The ball is away with him. Harbor, we all know harbor is a place where ships are tied up and protected from the sea. And he has seen that ball moving from that harbor to the water. So that boy is very sad, very disappointed. और उस बॉल को उस बच्चे ने देखा है पानी के अंदर जाते हुए, और वो जानता है कि अब वो बॉल उसे वापस नहीं मिल सकता, और उस बॉल के साथ बिताए हुए जो अच्छे पल हैं, सुखद पल हैं, वो भी उस बॉल के साथ जा चुके हैं. नाउ दिस बॉय इज वेरी वेरी सैड, बहुत ज्यादा दुखी है, कांप रहा है. नाउ सी व्हाट द पोएट इज सेइंग, आई वुड नॉट इंट्रूड हिम. द पोएट इज सेइंग दैट I will not interfere in his matter. The poet is saying that I will not go and tell him, or I will not go and console him. मैं जाकर उस बच्चे को दिलासा नहीं दूंगा, मैं जाकर उस बच्चे को चुप कराने की कोशिश नहीं करूंगा, ना ही उस बच्चे का मूड चेंज करने की कोशिश करूंगा. Why that poet is saying? Because poet wants that boy to learn something, learn from that experience. But that we will discuss at the end of this poem. A dime, another ball is worthless. He is saying that a dime means 10 cent. Okay, जैसे 10 पैसा आप कह सकते हैं. The poet is saying that we can get another ball by paying 10 cent. 10 पैसे हम देकर एक दूसरी नई बॉल हम खरीद सकते हैं. But that new ball is worthless. लेकिन वो नया गेंद भी किसी काम का नहीं है. इट इज ऑफ नो यूज. नाउ ही सेंसेस फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. Now this is the first time the child is realizing his responsibility. जीवन में पहली बार ये बच्चा जिम्मेदारी का एहसास कर रहा है. If you have something precious with you, you need to be very careful about that thing. You need to respect that thing. You need to understand your responsibility towards that thing. And this is the first time he's sensing that. This is the first time he's experiencing that responsibility. Balls will be lost always, little boy. Now what is happening here? Balls are not going to be with you always. Balls here means it might be any sort of possession. It might be your personal thing, it might be your personal relationship with anybody, it might be maybe your family members, anything it might be. So nothing is permanent in this world. Everything is transitory. Everything is temporary. Everything will be lost one day. And this is what the poet is telling to this little boy. And another important thing what he's saying, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He's saying that once you lost a ball, that ball cannot be brought back. It is not possible to bring that ball back. Yeah, you can go and buy a new ball from the market, but that emotion, that sentiments that is with that ball cannot be correlated with a new ball. जिस गेंद के साथ आपका लगाव है, जिस वस्तु के साथ आपका लगाव है, वो वस्तु जब एक बार खो जाता है तो आप बाजार से एक और वही वस्तु, दूसरा वस्तु आप खरीद सकते हैं उसी टाइप का, लेकिन वही वस्तु आप नहीं खरीद सकते जो आपने खोया है, क्योंकि उस वस्तु के साथ, उस सामान के साथ आपके जो जज्बात जुड़े हुए हैं, दैट इज डिफरेंट. मनी इज एक्सटर्नल. पैसे से आप उस सामान को तो खरीद सकते हैं, लेकिन उस सामान के साथ जुड़ा हुआ जो एहसास है, जो फीलिंग्स हैं, वो आप नहीं खरीद सकते. मनी कैन गिव यू एक्सटर्नल हैप्पीनेस बट नॉट इनर हैप्पीनेस. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Desperate means hopeless eyes. Now this boy is very hopeless. निराशा से भर चुका है ये बच्चा. But something he is learning. लेकिन कुछ सीख रहा है वो. इस नुकसान से वो कुछ सीख रहा है. एक जिंदगी में एक बहुत बड़ी सीख है इस बच्चे के लिए. The epistemology of loss. What is he learning? The epistemology. The epistemology means the nature of loss, the knowledge of loss, the idea of loss. क्या होता है नुकसान, किसे कहते हैं नुकसान, और जब कोई चीज आपसे दूर हो जाती है, कोई चीज आपके पास से चली जाती है हमेशा के लिए, तो कैसे आपको अपने आप को संभालना है, कैसे अपने आप को मजबूत करना है, कैसी मानसिकता के साथ आपको आगे बढ़ना है, ये सब सीख रहा है ये बच्चा. दैट इज वॉट एपिस्टेमोलॉजी मीन्स. हाउ टू स्टैंड अप, कैसे खड़े होना है. गिरा हूं लेकिन गिरकर नहीं रहूंगा, फिर से खड़ा होऊंगा मैं. दुखी हूं लेकिन हमेशा दुखी नहीं रहूंगा, फिर से खड़ा होऊंगा मैं. knowing what every man must one day know. And this is the fact. This is the harsh reality of this world. And every man must one day know this fact. और इस दुनिया के हर एक इंसान को इस बात को जानना ही चाहिए कि आपके पास जो भी सामान है, जो भी चीज है, जो भी वस्तु है, जो भी आपकी बहुत खास है, वो एक ना एक दिन आपसे दूर होगी. And most know many days how to stand up. और बहुत से ऐसे भी लोग हैं, there are so many people in this world who have gone through these type of losses. ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं इस दुनिया में जिन्होंने बहुत सी चीजें अपनी खोई है. ऐसी परिस्थितियां उनके जीवन में कई बार आई हैं जब उन्होंने अपनी प्यारी, चाहे कोई वस्तु हो, चाहे कोई परिवार का सदस्य हो, खोया है. बट दे नो हाउ टू stand up, but they know कि हमें कैसे खड़े होना है. So this is a wonderful poem written by John Berryman, and this poem deals with the fact that we should be responsible towards our possessions. Whatever we are having, we should take good care of such things. And at the same time, we should keep another thing in our mind, that nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. And one day, everything will be lost. And we should know how to stand up. We should learn how to face such difficult situations, how to make us strong enough to deal with such losses. I hope, my dear children, you have understood this poem. It is a bit complicated poem, but still I hope things are quite clear to you. Now we will go through the poetic devices that are used in this poem. Rhyme scheme. If we talk about the rhyme scheme, this poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme. The poet has not followed any rhyme scheme. So the poem where the words are not rhyming, where there is no proper rhyme scheme, we call it free verse. So the rhyming scheme is free verse. Then the first poetic device that is used in this poem is alliteration. Alliteration, you can see where. What is alliteration? When our sound is repeated again and again, back to back, in a line or in a phrase or in a clause, then it is called alliteration. Here you can see, buys a ball back. Now this B sound is used again and again. Buys, B sound is coming. Ball, B sound is coming. Back, B sound is coming. So that is called alliteration. Then another example of alliteration is given, man must. There also this M sound is prevalent. So this is the example of alliteration. Then coming to anaphora. What is anaphora? Basically, anaphora is the repetition of a word at the beginning of successive clauses or phrases. Understand it properly. Anaphora is actually the repetition of a word or a phrase, whatever, at the beginning of successive clauses or phrases or lines. Okay, anaphora वो होता है जब एक ही वर्ड एक लाइन में, मान लीजिए एक वर्ड की शुरुआत, मान लीजिए एक लाइन में पहला वर्ड वी आता है, फिर दूसरे लाइन में भी पहला वर्ड वी आता है, तीसरे लाइन में भी पहला वर्ड वी आता है. So that is the example of anaphora. Here you can see this word merrily. In this line, the word starts with merrily. In the next line also, the word merrily, it starts with the word merrily, and that is called anaphora. And now coming to repetition. Repetition, see, when words are repeated again and again, see, what is he to do? Now this what is repeated twice. Okay, so this is what all the poetic devices are in this poem. I hope the poem is quite clear to you. The poetic devices are also very clear to you. Still, if you have any confusion, you can ask me in the comment section and I'll be responding to your questions. So that was all from this video. Thank you. Take care.
Well, children, I think the poem is quite clear to all of you. You have understood everything. Still any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. So that was all from this video. Thank you and God bless you.